Hi, and welcome to Discover Oklahoma. I'm Lauren Nelson.
And I'm Dean O'Lally. Our destination for today's show is the Rustic Ridge in Ada.
The folks here describe themselves as a store without limitations. It's full of rustic decor and home furnishings, not to mention cute gift items, purses, t-shirts, and so much more. We'll show you around throughout the program.
But first, it's that time of the year again. Warmer weather means you need to start making plans to hit the lake.
And get everyone in your family involved in a little fishing. Photojournalist Brian Boone takes us to the Fishing Derby at Robbers Cave State Park.
They sure did. No pressure.
I know, right?
Robbers Cave is what we call like the heart of southeast Oklahoma. This is the Forshmaline Creek, and so it runs throughout the park, and you can fish all along it, all the way from the headwaters down.
Today we have the Youth Trout Derby. We have it every year as kind of our last trout-related event of the year.
We do this annually, and this has been happening for well over 15 years. The nice thing about today's event is it is a free event. So there's no cost to register for these kids. We go up to age 16, and they do not have to have a fishing license. The children don't. We have almost 50 fishermen out here today. We're really excited about that number. We weigh them, and we also measure length of fish. So we will look at both of those when we're finding our winners for our fish. We actually have people from further out this year than normal coming in almost all the way to Oklahoma City. We have a lot of first timers today, and we're gonna have to come back. We had no idea.
It is our first time to come down to this area, and it's really pretty.
We get really positive feedback on being able to provide these types of programs that anybody can come to.
Definitely a great turnout today. Perfect weather. Couldn't ask for anything better. Had a lot of good fish today. Just really excited to be out here, and the kids had a blast. Not a whole lot of words, just a lot of facial expressions. A lot of joy here today.
I thought it was pretty neat. We didn't catch anything, but lots of kids got to catch stuff, and it was a good event put on. Lots of kids and families came out.
We have 3 age categories for today's fishing derby. We have 6 and under, 7 to 10, and then 11 to 16.
I'm looking forward to next year. I love it.
If your family or group of friends is ready to cast a line, you need to check out the Oklahoma Fishing Trail Guide. Just download it online at fishinok.com or request a hard copy. It'll come free in the mail. And once you've left the lake, there's still so much unique fun to be had in Oklahoma.
How about a little crystal digging on the Salt Plains? Let's check out how it all works. You can do a lot at the Salt Plains National Wildlife Refuge. There's bird and wildlife watching. You can hunt and fish and take hikes. But one of the biggest draws involves digging for crystals.
We have everybody from 6 months to 100 years old come out here. They come from all over the world.
One gentleman who's out here almost every day is Roger Pierce, also known as Selenite Sam, the Crystal Man.
A lot of people don't have any idea what to expect. They just come out here because they think it sounds interesting. And they come out here, and I try to show them what they're supposed to find.
Debbie Taranis brought her grandson out to search for crystals, and her grandson, by the way, Bryson, loves rocks.
It's better than what I expected. I didn't know whether we'd find 1 or 2 or 10, but we found almost a whole bucket full. So it's exceeded my expectations by far.
Did you find a lot of crystals?
Yeah.
An enthusiastic yeah, for sure. And now, have you had fun?
Yeah.
A young man of few words, he wanted to get back to digging. By the way, this is the only place in the world where you can find those unique hourglass-shaped selenite crystals. Not all will have the hourglass figure in them, but realizing how all the crystals are formed is somewhat fascinating.
What they believe is that there's an underground aquifer that goes through a sediment layer deposited by ancient seas. And then that comes up at this spot and it deposits the salt on top. The crystals formed by the chloride and the sulfates combining together to make the crystal. And the crystal's just a form of gypsum.
As for the specific crystals with the hourglass shape inside,
they're formed by some type of magnetic forces. Nobody knows for sure exactly how it happens.
there are some essentials you'll need before coming out to the refuge to dig.
Items you should bring would be shovels for digging. Definitely need to bring water to drink, and also you can use water to pour on the dirt and get the crystals out.
Early morning and early evenings are best in the summer, and Roger Pierce added a few more things you'll need.
It's just luck, mainly, but it takes a lot of patience to get them out without destroying them, because they are so delicate.
Crystal digging is permitted from April 1st through October 15th at the Salt Plains National Wildlife Refuge in Jet.
Coming up on Discover Oklahoma.
This really tells the story, the history, and the heritage of the field artillery from the American Revolution through today.
Take a trip back in time at the U.S. Army Artillery Museum.
What's amazing is it's in the state of Oklahoma, and this is something that Oklahomans need to know about and be proud of.
Plus, they exhibit every Okie needs to see.
People have come from Dallas, literally had friends fly in from China in one night and bring them, and all the guests from Canada.
And the Oklahoma restaurant's so famous people come from all over the world for the experience. It's all ahead right here on Discover Oklahoma.
Why order a free Oklahoma outdoor guide? Uncover unique wonders. Cultivate your curiosity. And wake up your wild side. Order or download your free copy today.
Welcome back to Discover Oklahoma, coming to you from the Rustic Ridge in Ada.
If you are a history buff or a military fan, this next one is for you.
At our next stop, you can take a trip back in time all the way to the 1700s. Come with me now to the U.S. Army Field Artillery Museum at Fort Sill. If you're a military or history buff, you need to plan a trip to the U.S. Army Field Artillery Museum at Fort Sill. From the moment you step foot on the grounds, you will see things you won't find anywhere else.
This really tells the story, the history, and the heritage of the field artillery from the American Revolution through today. We even have current operations exhibits. It's one of the most oldest continuously serving branches in the U.S. Army. And here in Oklahoma, Fort Sill has been the home of the field artillery for over a century, since 1911.
Director of Museums Frank Siltman says the history you will see here is inside, outside, and all around.
If you go outside, there's an artillery park with over 90 pieces, primarily from World War I up through current operations.
When you step inside, the history and heritage continues in 3 different galleries with exhibits covering different eras of Army artillery.
So when you come to the museum, we have a center gallery that really covers all aspects of artillery.
In the South Gallery, you will find artillery used during the Revolutionary War through the turn of the 20th century.
As you go down there through that, you just have a tremendous amount of technology that you just see this huge evolution from cast iron to bronze, smoothbore to rifles, muzzle loading to breech loading, and so almost impossible to cover all the technology really that occurred in that time frame. We also have a very special item in there, and that is Franklin Roosevelt's funeral caisson. It was somehow returned to Fort Sill in the 1950s. It made its way to the museum, so a very unique piece that actually carried Franklin Roosevelt to his final resting place. What you're going to see in the North Gallery is a change from direct fire artillery, where you're shooting what you see, to indirect fire, what we know as artillery today, and that occurred in World War I. Then you'll get into World War II, mechanization, as you see behind us, artillery pieces on tracks.
The Central Gallery explores all of the advancements made for present-day artillery. You will see artillery and more used in the Korean War all the way to present-day operations.
So the Central Gallery is open to the public since October. It's really not complete yet. It's about 95, 98% complete, so we're still working on that. So we cover both Korea and Vietnam. Vietnam Fire Base is covered in that area. Also aerial artillery, rocket artillery, a helicopter.
To explore and learn more about all that the Army Artillery has done and continues to do to keep our country safe, plan your trip to the U.S. Army Field Artillery Museum at Fort Sill.
Really, it's been a part and parcel of Southwest Oklahoma and Oklahoma in itself.
The U.S. Army Field Artillery Museum is located at 238 Northwest Randolph in Fort Sill. They're open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday.
Just remember, you'll need to check in at the Visitor Center to get a pass to be on base. While we're talking history, let's head west.
The National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum is home to a most unique exhibit right now. Quintran shows us Spiro and the art of the Mississippian World.
These are items not easily found in history books. They are ancient and nearly forgotten until now.
It's everything from stone to wood to copper to textiles and basketry to engraved shell. What's amazing about each of these pieces is they come from across the known world.
Eric Singleton is the curator of this latest exhibit at the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum. Spiro and the Art of the Mississippian World features about 178 pieces. The artifacts were buried in Spiro, Oklahoma.
Why Spiro? Why do you have all of these items from across the known world appearing here? All of the Mississippian mound groups are collapsing at 1400. Why would that happen? And the answer is environment.
Spiro is considered an important religious and cultural center, and these items reflect that.
The narrative and the story kind of talks about how all these pieces came to Spiro and were interred in a single hollow chamber. And in the 1930s, a group calling themselves the Pecola Mining Company actually got a lease for the land and began digging into Craig Mound at Spiro. And they stumbled upon this hollow chamber in the center of this mound. And inside were thousands of objects. In fact, it's the largest assemblage of Mississippian material ever found.
This is the first time these items have been brought together since they were excavated more than 80 years ago. For the past decade, scholars, historians, and curators have collaborated with First American communities to learn more in order to bring this exhibit to life.
This must have taken a tremendous amount of effort to get this together. And like they are saying, this is probably the only time that this will happen. So it's once in a lifetime deal. So we had to see it.
It's amazing to me to think, somebody's hands were on this and somebody etched this or, chipped it away or filed it or wove it or whatever from, 1,000 years ago is amazing to think, today we can be so close to something so ancient.
This exhibit tells the story of our ancestors and inspires us to ask more questions about their community, culture, history, and religion. At the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum, Quintran, Discover Oklahoma.
Spiro and the Art of the Mississippian World is on display until May 9th. You can visit online or take a trip to the Cowboy in person for other exhibits. You'll find it at 1700 Northeast 63rd in Oklahoma City.
Coming up on Discover Oklahoma.
They pass it to, daughters and granddaughters.
Incredible heirloom jewelry made right here in Oklahoma. We'll show you where.
We constantly get asked if there's a dress code. We take people that just got done doing hay or horseback riding or four-wheeling, and we get people that get dressed up and want to come out for their anniversary.
And they don't care what you wear, but what they feed you will have you coming back for more. We'll take you to this eastern Oklahoma hotspot coming up.
Make a date with the great outdoors with the Oklahoma State Parks app. Explore trails, discover events, get deals, book lodging, campsites, and more. Download the Oklahoma State Parks app. Experience a state of wonder.
Welcome back to the Rustic Ridge in Ada, a great place to shop. There's no doubt our state is full of locally owned shops and boutiques that could really use our help right now.
And Jason Grubbs is going to show us one you will not regret supporting. Let's go to Colors of Etnika in Tulsa.
So natural stones are really unique, Even if you have a similar piece or similar jewelry, pair of earrings or ring, the stone is always going to be different.
Every day, Carla Aguirre-Jones works on unique, one-of-a-kind pieces of jewelry for her shop in downtown Tulsa, Colors of Etnika. She calls her process of creation intuitive.
I usually dream. I'm very creative during the night. And in the morning, I know what I want to do. I come and open the shop earlier so I can sit and draw.
She says sometimes the creativity comes from her customers.
They come and they tell me, I want this ring, but I want it bigger, or I want a different stone.
The shop is filled with all sorts of beautifully handcrafted treasures, earrings, necklaces, and cuffs. Carla loves making rings the most.
Rings and big rings, like probably stuff like this, yeah.
Sterling is her favorite metal, opal her favorite stone.
Yes, I like opals. I love opals. I travel every year and I handpick my stones. I also go to shows and pick stones.
Carla gets her gems and stones from all over the world, her inspiration coming from past and present.
I love jewelry from the 1940s to the 1960s, and I love making big statement pieces, and love modern jewelry too.
The biggest piece she's made yet is the one she's wearing, of large turquoise stones set in silver.
And I totally love it. I think it's kind of like where my style is gonna be directed to.
Among Carla's pieces, you'll find the work of other Oklahoma artists for sale, paintings, sculptures, and pottery. She also carries handmade colorful products from more than a dozen other countries, like Thailand, India, Peru, Guatemala, and Mexico. All of it wonderfully crafted. But Carla's works are the crown jewels for Colors of Etnika.
Usually they sell pretty quick. Every time I make a ring, I finish my work, I take a picture, post it on social media, and usually next day it's sold.
One-of-a-kind pieces that for some become family heirlooms, lasting generations.
They pass it to, daughters and granddaughters, and I love that one day one of my pieces is gonna be there, part of the history of that family.
In downtown Tulsa, I'm Jason Grubbs for Discover Oklahoma.
Colors of Etnika is located at 10 East Archer Street in Tulsa. They are open 12 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday, closed on Sunday.
Up next on Discover Oklahoma.
Our #1 dessert is our carrot cake. It's a family recipe. We always have carrot cake on the menu.
Come for the view and the incredible food, but don't forget to save room for dessert.
The Oklahoma Route 66 Passport is your pocket-sized tour guide. Hit 66 pit stops, fun shops, and photo ops, and collect the stamps to prove it. Order yours today at travelok.com/brochures.
We sure have had a great time today doing a little shopping here at the Rustic Ridge in Ada.
We are about to hit the road for our next destination, but we want to tell you about a favorite spot along the Talihina Drive. Casey Kennedy is going to take us to the Rock House.
Rock House is a steakhouse, a destination restaurant in the middle of our ranch. Being in Talihina, most of our customers come pretty good distance in order to be here. But it is a destination, and we really, I think, specialize in the whole experience.
But there's no steaks around here, and when we wanted a steak, we were driving to, Tulsa, Oklahoma City, Fort Smith, and I just felt like there's got to be other people that don't want to drive an hour or more for a good steak.
People have come from Dallas, literally had friends fly in from China in one night and bring them and all the guests from Canada and drive from Dallas to have dinner, and then they spent the night here. We have people come from Oklahoma City, from Tulsa on a regular basis, McAllister every single weekend.
We constantly get asked if there's a dress code. We take people that just got done doing hay or horseback riding or four-wheeling, and we get people that get dressed up and want to come out for their anniversary. A lot of anniversary dinners are here. A lot of marriage proposals are here. But it's very relaxed.
The food is wonderful.
The atmosphere is wonderful, but the fellowship, it's just an overall awesome place to come.
We bring in good quality product and then make whatever it is that we want to, you know, all the sauces, everything is done here from scratch. We do steaks and seafood. All of our beef is all Black Angus, 3 generations, and all natural. So it is basically no steroids, no hormones, and no antibiotics ever. So all of our beef is also aged as well. And so it provides a very consistent product and very tender.
My parents and the original owners, Ben and Marie Reed, were friends. They were contemporaries, and I grew up on the place just west of here as a young child. We just enjoy the fellowship and the food, obviously. Carrot cake.
Our #1 dessert is our carrot cake. It's a family recipe. We always have carrot cake on the menu. Time is so important, and it's something that none of us have much of anymore. We give people a place to spend time together, and that just doesn't get to happen very often.
Well, I get pretty excited about the fact that we've got service, and then we're in the entertainment business, and you know, we've set a standard now that people have become accustomed to. So I feel like as much as we're appreciative of that, it puts pressure on the kitchen that we've got to perform to that standard every night, and I think we do.
The Rock House is open for dinner only, Thursday through Sunday from 4 to 9 p.m. You can call ahead to make a reservation. You'll find them at 52060 Blackjack Ridge Road in Talihina.
And it doesn't matter where your next road trip takes you, the Discover Oklahoma Dining Guide will always help you find a great place to eat. All you have to do is just log on to our website, travelok.com, and click Request Free Brochures to get your copy.
A huge thank you to the great folks here at the Rustic Ridge in Ada for hosting us this week. This shop is worth the stop if you're in the area, full of rustic decor and all sorts of cute gift ideas along with Western furnishings. Check out their Facebook page for more information.
And coming up next Saturday on Discover Oklahoma, we're headed to Enid and Leonardo's Children's Museum.
And we're checking out one of the best brunch spots in the state. It's all coming up next week right here on Discover Oklahoma.
So until next time, remember,
there's always something to discover in Oklahoma.